everybody, welcome to the Outside Insider. It's a big one. Potentially, the Eagles might have a new face in the locker room coming in just in time for the San Francisco 49ers matchup. I hope you're all having a lovely afternoon. I know it's around 6 p.m. Over in the States right now. If you're just joining us, welcome to the show. We've got a couple of big topics to talk about today. One of them obviously going to be Shaq Leonard. I still don't understand the two first names. Is one a nickname, one a name? Were there two names? I have tried Googling it. I'm not really sure. We'll get to that. Either way, Leonard, Philadelphia, tryout, playing hard to get, choosing between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Of all the teams to choose from, I'd like to think, even in an unbiased world, that's a fairly easy decision, especially given the link with Sirianni. So why he's playing hard to get, I don't know. But alas, I'm sure we'll find out. We've got an article pre-written, ready to go out for when he does sign. With that prepared here. This show was made with the emphasis that he had signed or was about to sign. I was trying to word it in a way where, if he doesn't sign, we can still talk about it and it can still be the main focal point of the show. And if he does, we look well ahead of the curve. And obviously, the title's great. But thank you all for hanging out with us. If you could leave a like on the stream and just hit that grey button, it'd be absolutely amazing. It is the best way to help out the show, help us grow, help, reach more people and just continue to grow this little community that we're building here. It is often filled with innuendos, as Matty McPherson fills us in. Already starting strong there with filling in. We're off to a banger. Welcome to Isaac, to Matt, Bronson Kinderman. Nice to see you, sir. Not feeling great if he signs, knowing he's had 2 back surgeries already. Yeah, and the fact that he barely played in 2022, he had 3 games, and what we have seen for him this year hasn't exactly been great. Well, look, it's a prime Philadelphia signing. It's a linebacker that has had injury problems, that's potentially past his prime, that's going to be dirt cheap and might just about do the job. If that doesn't scream Philadelphia, I don't know what does. If you go back to the Kiko Alonso days, if you go back to the linebackers they've signed recently, it all points to the same. It is just bargain bin shopping. This one feels like it's a little bit more upside due to his accomplishments, due to what he has achieved with the Pro Bowls, the All-Pro nominations. We'll get more into it as time goes on. I think for the Eagles, it's more specifically what can you do in this scheme? Is he going to be able to execute something effectively? To be fair, to cut the line even shorter, it's can he do it effectively better than Christian Ellis? Which shouldn't be too difficult. But at the same time, you still got Brown and Cunningham there. And if one of them goes down, Zach Cunningham on the injury report right now, didn't practice today. It's a possibility. You've got to be prepared for that. And you're getting a player in Shaq Leonard that has been brilliant really throughout his career until those back surgeries. So we don't know the ins and outs. A lot of people were shocked that Leonard got released by the Colts in the first place. A lot of that we know was down to just the contract thing. Jim Irsay reportedly having to do what's best for business. I understand it. I don't think that would have happened in Philadelphia. If you look at guys who was impactful in the communities as Darius Leonard. Even recently, Darius Leonard was out giving turkeys in the local community in Indianapolis. He just is that kind of community MVP that will spearhead those foundation movements, do stuff for charity, want to get involved with the youth of, today. He's the sort of guy that Jeffrey Lurie would do all he can to keep around and honor him. You look at guys like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jason Peters. Look, JP wasn't exactly the grandest tool in the shed, but he was in Philadelphia until 83 years old. They have a history of doing right by their players. And there was that saving of 18 million or whatever it is, it doesn't matter to the Colts today. It has no bearing on, where the Colts are going to ascend to into the offseason. Because if they'd have done it now, and they'd done it at the end of the year, they'd have saved the same money. So I think the fact he was cut does shock a lot of people. Regardless, it doesn't change the fact that he was playing bad enough and the upside wasn't there, deemed cuttable, if that makes sense. And this is a Colts team that is on the fringe of making the playoffs. And you'd like to think, if you go now, we have a look at the NFL at the minute, the NFL standings. I think we do this once a show anyway. But I will share screen. Look, we know my issues with Bing and that I'm not exactly the most... I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is I used to be sat here editing videos all the time. I was like red hot doing all these like green screen stuff. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm a changed man. I'm a boomer in disguise. But if we go to the NFL standings, we switch to the AFC. Look, they're 2 wins back of the Jags. They're 6 wins. And if you look across every division, all right, Steelers and the Browns, sure. 6 is second, 6 is second, 6 is second. Like, they're absolutely in line to be priming for a playoff run, especially when they've just won 3 in a row. They beat the Bucks. They've got the Titans up next. The Bengals without Joe Burrow. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. Whatever's left of the Falcons, a floundering Raiders team that can't run the ball, and a Texans team that could well be resting by then. So the chances of the Colts going into the playoffs is pretty substantial. I wouldn't say it's like grandiose, but it's certainly like plausible. So you're talking about a team on the fringe of playoffs where if you've got a player to that level that has been elite, he's not elite now, but he's been elite, a fantastic locker room leader, someone that is brilliant in the community, that understands the scheme, that will mentor younger players. If there's ever a team to have him around, it would be the Colts. Like, that's what stuns me, is that there's no reason the Colts had to make that move. It didn't matter. The money saving would have been just the same if they'd done it in the offseason. So I don't know. It's a weird one. I hope if Philadelphia do sign him, they could get the best out of him. But it is a linebacker group now where Nakobe Dean hasn't lived up to what we'd hoped he would be in year 2. It's very early days in his development. Let's not get ahead of the curve here. There is still a lot of meat on that bone. But you've got Zach Cunningham and Nick Morrow. Morrow, who had one freakily good game. Cunningham's been the better of the two, in my opinion. I think that's just because he has experience in Desai's scheme previously. He excelled during his time with the Chicago Bears. Got there in the end. And realistically, if one of those guys goes down, as we saw against the Bills, it's Christian Ellis. So you need someone. And if your bar for this signing is just please don't be awful, just get us through, just survive the war, I think you can do a lot worse than Shaq Leonard. You can certainly do a lot worse. Now, given what's out there, and whether you want to snoop around practice squads, whether you want to snoop around free agents, there just isn't a lot of names that would be able to come in with familiarity with the coaching staff, a couple of the players, and make an impact. Like, there just aren't that many. I don't think if they do sign him, he's going to be a game-changing addition to this team. He will not be the difference between winning and losing because he's not the full-time Pro Bowler that he was in 2021. It just is the sad reality of life. He might bounce back. He might get back to playing half as good as what he was. And if he does, that'll be better than all of the Eagles starters currently. And that also has to be, appreciated. That if he can get back, then there's certainly upside there. We'll get into it in more depth short. I come over 10 minutes in already. I am rambling today. That caffeine is looking tremendous. I've missed the past 9 streams. Yeah, that's tin pot from you. Look, Matt shows up when we're winning. Look, when we're up, we've got 18 viewers. When we're on top, Matt shows up, repping the shirt, repping the jersey. Soon as we're back down to a Friday and there's 3 of us talking about sexual innuendos, I don't see him. I don't see Matty Mac. I'm gutted. I'm only joking. You're always welcome. I'm glad you're back in. Jay Fizz, nice to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Not sure how healthy he'll stay. But I tell you what, shout out to Bronson, by the way. I hope he's still watching. I'm not sure. It says there's no one on Facebook at the minute, but he's given us a few comments today. Love that. He's watched the first 10 minutes of the show. We love getting some new blood in our core 12, which is rising. All right, the core 12 are the same rough 12 people that watch the show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. I think we're around like a core 15 now. So we are building. If you want to be part of it, just make sure you leave a like on that video. Drop your comment in, give your opinions on what we're talking about. And hit that subscribe button if you would be so kind, just so you know when we do go live. Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. I think Leonard signs because he loves Siri. And by that, he doesn't mean like the voice app on iPhone. He means Sirianni, I'm assuming. He might well love Siri. He might have Android, but he might also love Siri. Siri is great. Apart from Nick Sirianni, like having worked for Apple and being talked into. So I used to hate Siri. I mean, we are sidetracked already here, like 10 minutes in. But I used to hate Siri. I find it quite obnoxious, like walking around being like, hey, Siri, what's this do? But I just use it for counting up my golf scorecards because I'm terrible at math. So I'll stand there going, what's 6 plus 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5 plus 5? And it does it all for me. Like stuff like that. Built-in Shazam's pretty good. telling it to remind you stuff is it's just pretty handy. So maybe Leonard, maybe that'll be our first question if we ever get Shaq Leonard on a podcast or a stream. What Siri do you prefer, Nick Sirianni or Siri? Who knows? Who knows? He's been on a horrible trajectory since he started going by Darius. I heard Howie has a clause in a potential contract. He has to go by Shaq. Love that. Yeah, I don't know. Look, can someone actually shed some light? I promise I'm not trying to be ignorant. Like, maybe I'll just search it with you for that same reason, because I don't want to get his name wrong. I've always known him as Darius Leonard, and I always wanted him on the Eagles. And then, legitimately, everyone started talking about Shaq Leonard, and I was like, who's that? Googling it, and he comes up as his Colts player. I was like, okay. And this was like last off season, I think, that I started going like, oh, well, I kind of, maybe there's a trade there or something. Shaq Leonard, Darius. Darius, why? Shaq Leonard, Darius, why is what I've searched here. Nothing. I don't know. What happened to him? No, I just want to know his name. I'm not sharing the screen. I know that. Here we go. Why did he change his name? It's on Sportskeeda. Okay, let's have a look. We'll learn together. All right, we are team educating. That's what we're doing here. Let's have a look. It's better to learn together, right? I went by Shaquille my whole life. I understand it'd be a hard change to be called by Shaquille. Oh, I've got to stop calling him Darius. Right. Okay. It's not a huge deal. It wouldn't be hard enough if you called me Darius. Shaq's my middle name. You went by since 95. Okay, fair. Fair enough. All right. Well, that answers that then. So it turns out it is Shaq Leonard, and I've got to stop calling him Darius because he might get a bit annoyed at me. Like that time I had a former NFL player on. Should we tell that story while we got some time? We got some time today. Here's a funny name story. Okay, here is a funny name story. So talking about Darius and Shaq and not knowing. Once upon a time, we had a show, some of you may remember, with veteran NFL safety Mike Adams, who is now a coach, I believe, on the New York Giants. But he was veteran safety, played for the Colts, played for a few other teams, played against the Eagles. We got him on, and he was so impressed with the podcast that he wanted me and PSN to potentially not only be a home for his show, but to like produce it and to edit it and promote it. So I was like, amazing. That's huge for us, right? So I get straight in the lab and I start cooking up a promo, like a trailer, like teasing Mike Adams. Send it to him. I'm like, what do you think? I think I've spent about 8 hours on it. I'm pretty happy. And he goes, that's not me. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, that's not you, Mike Adams. Not Mike Adams, playing the NFL. There you are. And he said, that's not me. That's a different Mike Adams. And I'd made an entire montage of the wrong player and sent it to him, the player I was trying to make a trailer of. So imagine the poor guy. Like, imagine, it's like someone said, oh yeah, I'm really familiar with your work, Liam. You do a great job talking about ballet. And I'm like, what do you mean ballet? And he's just researched the wrong Liam Jenkins. Like, could you imagine? He must have felt so insulted. And he didn't mind in the end. He was very good about it. It was very gracious. I finished up the trailer. We had the podcast and he went his own way and did his own thing. Actually went, as we say, back to the NFL to start coaching. But it was quite a funny story. And it is up there with the most, it symbolizes what PSN's all about. All right. Just absolute chaos. The media we put the chaos back in the media in the right way, So it's all part of the fun. All part of the fun indeed. There we go. Sloppy BJs for everyone. Exactly. But not Brian Johnson. He is the only BJ that does not get a sloppy BJ. Out. He is doghoused. He is like sleeping on the couch until he sorts this out. Because it can't go on. Bing's a poverty search engine. First Hicks, then TJ. The Eagles are allergic to line back prosperity, says Greg. Nice to see you, Greg. Thank you for stopping by as always. A member of our Core 12. Again, Core 15, I think we're pushing Core 15 now. Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, there have been so many opportunities for this team to get a decent linebacker. Whether it's like a rookie, whether it's a free agent, whether it's a trade, whether it's bringing someone home. I don't know. Look, I mean, having said that, I was a big Leighton Van Der Esch guy, and the fact that his career's ended out the way it has is heartbreaking because he is one of the best linebacker talents to come through that funnel in years, in my opinion. That guys like Jordan Hicks just couldn't stay healthy. Like, there have been so many names that I've either wanted in Philadelphia or have come through and just not panned out. Someone like Alex Singleton, but they love these undrafted guys. And at the same time, if the league continues to pay ridiculous money, and it's no insult to Shaq Leonard, but getting the contract he did, it's big money. He was paid like one of the best linebackers in the league because he was in 2021 the best linebacker in the league, arguably. So I get it. But if you can, it's the same with running back. It is the exact same. Like for the price of Miles Sanders in Carolina, Howie Roseman got DeAndre Swift, what's left of Rashard Penny, a chaotic Kenny Gainwell, and Boston Scott. But that four-man backfield, for better or worse, and all the highs and lows, have accounted for like more yards than Sanders. They're like the 8th ranked rushing offense in the league, and there's no need to fork out money on running back. And ever since Howie spent a ridiculous sum of money on DeMarco Murray, there's been no need to pay a running back. There has been no need to pay a running back because he's understood that, well, all right, I can get Sproles, I can get Matthews, I can get Wendell Smallwood, I can get Josh Adams. We can go on and on and on to these just budget running backs that do nothing anywhere else. Jay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount, that are maybe past their glory years, maybe something happens to them, but you pay them next to nothing and they get the job done. The difference, I think, in linebacker is realistically, you can get average running backs or bad running backs. I mean, every bad running back in the NFL is good because they've made it to the NFL, right? Let's be clear. We are talking like 1% of the 1%. However, there are levels to this. You know, a Christian McCaffrey to a Donnell Pumphrey, there's a big gap, all right? There's a substantial drop-off. The difference is you can be Josh Adams, you can be Jay Ajayi, kind of running out of fuse. You can be DeAndre Swift gearing up again. You can be Kenny Gainwell struggling. You can be Boston Scott against one team, as long as you've got a good offensive line. Because realistically, 20-30%, if we're being honest, of the work is done by the guys in front. Now, don't get me wrong, the overwhelming job is done by the running backs themselves, but a lot of it is tight ends, it's offensive line, it's giving you the holes. It's down to your athleticism to get through. It's down to your ability to get through, to make the right decisions, to hold on to that football, to show your ability in the open field. But, you know, it's Moses parted the Red Sea, all right? It wasn't Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, all right? We all know it was Big Moses. He sorted it right out. Was it Moses? I hope so. Otherwise, that analogy's gone tits up. You know what I mean? Linebacker's not the same. Because linebacker, you can blow up a play like really bad and it be costly. If you miss your assignment or you make a bad decision or you get stuck in the mud or you're not as agile as you used to be or you can't go sideline to sideline or you miss a tackle, it's a lot more damaging. I feel like as much as you can fumble and you can rush for like, I don't know, a good example would be Charbonnet at the minute on the Seahawks, averaging like 3.2 yards per carry the past 2 weeks. He isn't really doing much, but he's doing all right. And the Seahawks are okay. And the offense is doing just fine. Defense, if your linebackers aren't up to scratch, you notice. You really notice. You can be bailed out at running back. There are other guys in that backfield. There's a dynamic quarterback. There's a great offensive line. If you stink at linebacker on this Eagles defense, it will be circled in red so much that the ink will start to like bleed into your eye sockets. And that's the difference. So like, as much as I understand how he's negligence to pay either position, I think he can get away with it at running back. I really think he can get away with it because not that the task is easier, but there's less responsibility, I think, on the shoulders of a budget running back than there is an undrafted free agent linebacker who's matched up with a Christian McCaffrey, who is trying to maybe man up a tight end, who's potentially sat in a cover two, not really showing what to do. Maybe he's playing like a hook or something. Like, it's just a lot more there to bear in mind. So, I don't know. I know we're kind of pivoting a bit, but I think it's interesting to talk about. We'll get back to some of your comments. I know I've been rambling here for two stints today. I had a destination wedding to attend. Cool. Lovely. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Matt, as well. I know we're belated, but happy belated Thanksgiving. Davidson says, change his name from Darius to Shaq. Well, I could have just used Davidson. He's a lot less stressful than Bing. I can tell you that for free. Thank you for the info, Davidson. What a man you are. I've been a bad FTV fan if I had the time I'd watch live. Don't know. So I don't know why I said it's slow. Don't know what it's about. I don't know about what it's like down your way, Liam. But up this way in Kent, it's bloody freezing. Yeah, I can't lie. It's very cold right now. We're due snow, actually. Not that kind. No, that was a bad joke. We're due snow in England, like down my area, and we're going to London this weekend. So I think we're going to miss the snow, which is annoying. But yeah, very cold, about 18 degrees. I don't know what that is in American numbers, but I'm assuming it's like fairly cold. I'm not sure. ESPN ain't mixing up Mike Adams. That is true. I can't lie. Eric is in. Cheerio, Sir Liam, and top even to the chat 12. Hey, look, we're at chat 15. I'm telling you, we're rebranding it to the chat 15. We've got 20 people in. If you are one of those 20, make sure you leave a like on this podcast. Let's see how far we can push it. I think we normally average about 30 likes a stream. See if we can pump those rookie numbers up for the Wolf of Wall Street fans among us. And be sure, look, there's 22 of you here, all right? Get your comments in. Let me know what you think about Shaq Leonard, what you think about the Niners, my haircut, the dodgy T-shirt, anything you like. Get it in the comments. Let's have a little conversation. It was Moses that parted the Red Sea. Good dude. Forgot to circumcise his son. Almost got killed by God for it. Easy mistake. Easy mistake to make. The analogy went tits up, bruv. God almighty parted the Red Sea. Moses just got to hold the stick and look cool. Well, that's basically what a running back does in the Eagles offense. So it loops back round. It loops back round, all right? The analogy works. That's what a running back does in the Eagles offense. God parts the Red Sea. Moses holds the stick, scores the tuddy, looks cool. See, it all works. What's up, Dirk? Nice to see you, sir. 65. All right, how cold would you say is cold in America? Is 65 cold, or is because that to me sounds very hot? Wow, all right, I need to do some mathing over here. If you want to run zero linebackers, you have to have a great safety, and we don't have that. Yeah, but you do have Byard and you do have Blankenship, and between them, they sort of make up a good safety tandem. It's not the best in the league, but it's certainly not the worst. And to go from Marcus Epps level safety play to this level safety play is a huge up. 65 is perfect. Perfect. This is the perfect temperature. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. What? Oh my! All right. So we had. Look, it has been 17C here, and I've been putting the radiator on. I've been freezing, extra layers. Wow. Okay. Currently, it's. I'm so confused. 65 is. Nah, that is wild. That is what I'm freezing. That's nuts. Okay. I think mine's about 20 degrees at the minute, whatever that means. Below 50 is chilly, below 40 is cold. I would know I'm outside freezing my toes off. Get some slippers on. Right. Before we get into talk about temperatures, let's change lanes. All right. Let's talk. We'll come back to Shaq Leonard before the end of the stream. I think there's definitely a lot of weight to that conversation. But I did promise you guys another conversation, and it wasn't about temperatures. All right. We weren't talking Sean Paul. We are talking kickers. We're going to kick things up a notch. All right. Because I made a tweet on Sunday evening saying that Jake Elliott will go down as the greatest Eagles kicker of all time. For some reason, that blew up, and a lot of people started saying he already is the greatest kicker of all time, which my response to all of those tweets would be, well, obviously, that's why I said he will go down as the greatest, because he is. That's why that's literally what the tweet means, isn't it? That he'll go down as the greatest, because he is. Anyway, but then, obviously, another contingent of people, quite a healthy contingent, started debating between Jake Elliott and David Akers, which is a logical discussion. David Akers, probably the kicker a lot of us grew up on, and someone that kicked his way through several big games for the Eagles and got them into some big spots and was as reliable as you could ever want a franchise kicker to be. So, you know, the conversation started going that, all right, well, longevity-wise, David Akers has it over Jake Elliott because he's kicked like an extra. It's only an extra 50 games, by the way, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's roughly like what? 4 years in the current. No, like 3 years. Like if the current NFL structure is like 17 weeks, 17, 10, 20, 37, 44. Yeah, 3 years. So in 3 years, they'd have kicked the same. In 3 years, David Akers, Jake Elliott, the exact same games. Currently, there's a 50-game gap between the two. Akers on 156, Elliott's on 106. But people are saying longevity, David Akers has the edge. As a kicker, it's all Jake Elliott. So, Corey Nido, I'm not sure if he's watching this, but Corey, one of our newest Eagles writers, who's been absolutely brilliant. He wants to get into the YouTube space as well. So, you know, keep your eyes peeled. There could be some Corey content coming your way soon. Fantastic betting picks as well, has to be said. Oh, Liam, it's 3 degrees for you right now, not 20. Oh. Yeah, look, I'll level with you guys. I don't know what temperature it is. All I know is that I'm going to be keeping you warm. I got the right. I don't know. I don't know what Fahrenheit, I don't know what Celsius is, but right now it's cold. All right, that's all I know. Anyway, I've made a sexy graphic because that's what we do in this show. We come to you with sexy graphics comparing Jake Elliott and David Akers. And it's closer than you might think. It's closer than you might think. So if we're going off field goal percentage, Jake Elliott is a 3% lean. That doesn't really matter. Look at the difference there, though. Bear in mind, this man has played in 50 fewer games. All right, so a third less. So we take a third of that 24, which is 6. God, look at that math on the young man. And add that on as like a rough prediction. He'd be looking at 30 field goals of over 50 by the time he's played the same amount of games as David Akers. That is absolutely wild. Not only that, but on those kicks, he's converted more, like 30% more or 20% more kicks, despite kicking 11 more of them. So he's kicked 11 more field goals of 50 yards plus, and he's converted nearly 20% more of them. Now, the one discrepancy people are going to point to is, but the extra point, Liam. The extra point. Oh, God, choke myself. Excuse me. That wasn't part of the plan. That wasn't part of the plan. Anyway, what you have to remember, ladies and gentlebirds, is the fact that until, was it 2015? The extra point was kicked from the 2-yard line. It's now been moved. So it is effectively harder for Jake Elliott to kick an extra point. So we can kind of cancel out the fact that, sure, Akers has 4% more extra points because he's kicking them all from literally right under the goalpost. That's, I'd like to think I'd have a 99% success rate there, hun. So I'm not really too concerned. What does it for me isn't just the fact that Jake Elliott is converted 11 more field goals of 50 yards or more in 50 less games, but he's converted 20% more of them. You'd think with something like that, the more you have in volume, the less efficiency you have, right? It would be the exact same with most three-point shooters in the NBA. The more you're throwing up, the more that's going to come down. You might have a hot streak, where you shoot 45, 50%, but realistically, you're going to come down to 36, 37% because you're not a perfect three-point shooter. It's the same with this, that the more you're doing, you should be missing more because they're hard kicks to make. The fact that he's making nearly 70%. So you're telling me on average, you stick Jake Elliott over 50 yards away from the uprights, he is making 7 out of 10 attempts. That's nuts. That is absolutely ridiculous. And it's not only that. You go back to that Giants game and the kick he made there. You look at the Super Bowl. You look at what he's done in the playoffs. You look at the clutch moments he makes these kicks. You look at this past weekend against the Buffalo Bills to send this game to overtime when that Eagles offense did him dirty. The Eagles had a drive to win that game. They had a drive to march down that field, and they called the most bozo-looking plays with the field goal range in sight, and it was down to one man and one man only to kick it into overtime from 59 yards away, and it was never a doubt. Never a doubt. There wasn't even a remote sense of hesitation, I think, from anyone. I was, Jake Elliott field goal? Yeah, overtime. Well, we've got overtime. You're at the 51-yard line. You're at the 51-yard line, and your response is, it's all right. Overtime, innit? No worries, everyone. No brainer. Just another overtime with Jake Elliott at the helm. No biggie. We're taking greatness for granted. He is the greatest kicker of all time in Eagles history. He might not be the greatest NFL kicker. With someone like Adam Vinatieri, who has obviously, an extra 87 years on him. Justin Tucker could be another. There are a few names that are obviously like candidates. But if he continues on this trajectory, the man is 27 years old. He is a year younger than me, all right? And he is already kicking himself into the Hall of Fame. There is no doubt in my mind that Jake Elliott will go down as the best kicker in Eagles history because he is kicking more from 50, converting more from 50, and doing them in big-time situations where it's game on the line. The game's been put in your hands. It is a buzzer-beater three-point shot, and there aren't many people in the world you can trust with a buzzer-beater three-point shot. Jake Elliott is becoming one of them, and that to me means everything. He is by far the greatest kicker the Eagles have ever had. We've got 13 comments. We're going to go through some of them. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wanting to talk about this, and not the temperature. I'd like anything under 60 is cold. And if I hear wind chill facts, it's equivalent to hell freezing over on Earth. Talking to hell freezing over on Earth, the CM Punk return. That's all I'm saying. Jake Elliott is the Moses of kicking bombs. The 50-yarder in a monsoon is insanity. The second I had it was beyond 40. I just relaxed. It's weird. It is so weird. I grew up in PA and live in Illinois. Cold out here is disrespectful. At least in PA, you could snowball fight for 20 minutes. Out here, you have to cut your fingers off on the third snowball. Yeah, I feel like England cold and American cold is very different. I think we're, babies. Like, all I'm saying is, right, before we come back to Jake Elliott, is in America, you'll have like 8 foot of snow and just walk to work. Like it'll just be everyone's just trudging along like it's nothing. Like, just another day in the office, walking to work. Cars and buses sliding everywhere. For us, we get a forecast that there might be a shower on wet ground so it won't set. And it'll be, grit the roads, get the emergency services out, get the military in, get away. And it's like, you would think we're in an apocalypse. You are listening to the radio, crossing your fingers that your local school is shut off a hunch that there might be snow. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for all British folk. Someone's got to take it on the chin. I'll do it. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. You guys are tougher than we are when it comes to snow. But yeah, back to Jake Elliott. We will splash a graphic up one more time for, call me Britney Spears. We are going to hit that baby one more time. If you do like what you're seeing on this podcast or live stream, if you could leave a like, that'd be absolutely amazing. It's the best way to help us out and continue the growth of the show. If you can leave a comment, that'd be even better. Let us know where you're watching from, what your thoughts are, who do you think is the greatest Eagles kicker of all time. And of course, if you subscribe, you're aware when we do go live, which for this show is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Tremendous. I don't know what more you could want. It's a lovely vibe. But yeah, I think I'm firm in my opinion that Jake Elliott is the greatest Eagles kicker of all time. I don't think there is anyone that comes close. I'll entertain debates. I'll entertain. If someone doesn't believe me, I love how that whole time I thought it was on absolute fire, and the whole time in the comments, everyone's talking about snow. Akers was 99% on extra points. It is insanity. It is, but it was from a lot closer. But it was still very good. I'm keen to see. I'm just going to Google because I'm genuinely curious what Adam Vinatieri's percentage was. Just for context, and I know we're talking like the greatest of all time here. Career XP. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I take it back. So Adam Vinatieri was 97%. However, until 2015 when it moved, I think it's 2015 when it moved, he was, can I see this? Let me have a look. I know I'm not, I'll share screen. Otherwise you're just looking at sexy graphics, which look, isn't a bad thing. I'm not sure how you'll be able to see this, but this is Adam Vinatieri's, oh God, big man gambling. We don't endorse that here, he says. So we go 2015 down. No, sorry, no, we don't. Get off. We want 2014 up to there. What was that? So before the rule change, he was 98.6. Yeah, so even so, 99 is ridiculous. Now, you haven't seen the screen, have you? For crying out loud. I'm so bad at streaming. Anyway, 99% is genuinely like, yeah, nuts. So maybe we're being too, maybe I'm being too disrespectful about David Akers there. Because 99%, no matter how you slice it, 99% of anything is pretty damn good, isn't it? There's no two ways about that. You can't slice that any differently. It just is very good. But yeah, I wish we could make a poll. I don't think we can. All right, what we'll do instead is, right, we've got 23 of us in the chat, right? So I want a number 1 for Jake Elliott and a number 2 for David Akers. We're going to add them up and we're going to decide as a group who the greatest Eagles kicker of all time is. So number 1, Jake Elliott, number 2, David Akers. And we're going to see just roughly where we're at. I'm intrigued. I might play some theme music just for the background, but I don't think I've got any. We've got 2 at number 1. All right, so it's a 2-0 lead. Zach says 3 there, so that's not an option. That's not an option, Zach, okay? Now, we established the rules, didn't we, class? Okay, we established the rules, year 7. We're better than that, okay? You're staying behind after the lesson, please, Zach, and we're going to have a little chat about your conduct. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I was going to say, I thought it was Phil. That's not me. That's not me chatting. I'm not that. I don't need to win the argument that much. Nice to see you, Phil. His speech at the draft should have got him into the Hall of Fame. True, there is that. I mean, Akers is a Philadelphia for lifer. So we got one. Oh, so it's a consensus that it should be Jake Elliott then. Surely, I've not seen any. I mean, what would the counter be? What? I don't know what the actual counter is, because when you look at context, the only redeeming factor is that Akers has played longer and he's 99% extra point from kicking 2 yards away. I would much rather be 68% kicking 50 yards away than 99% kicking 2 yards away. And that will be my final saying on the matter. And I think for that reason, Jake Elliott is the greatest Eagles kicker of all time. Absolutely. I'm not being PSN. I am PSN. Yeah, this is a hostage situation. Phil is taking the account hostage. I don't know what to do with this information, but if the show does get booted off the air, just know it's not me, and I'm not responsible for anything that brand now represents, unless it's very good, in which case I take full responsibility. LJ, what says that we ever listen to the rules? True. Yeah, look, no, I don't think anyone ever listens to anything I say, so there is that. We have to expect that, I guess. I still use the Akers VTR comment to Dallas fans. It was good. I mean, it might go down as one of the greatest Eagles moments in history. It might go down. There was nothing greater than being in Dallas. The way he said it, it was such a. This is the feedback he got. He heard the boos and just full on enrolled himself in it and wanted to really be a part of that hatred. It was outstanding. Look at Phil whipping up his Nick Foles and flexing with the logo. Will the logo now grow a beard? It might well do. Talking of logos, we're going to try and get some PSN merch sorted soon. I know that's been a long time coming, but we are going to try and get a few more, like shirts and caps maybe. I'm not sure if you can see it. Well, you can't now, but the thumbnail of this, we've got the little football logo or soccer logo with the outside inside on it. I want to put that on an actual jersey. I reckon that would bang. And I'd sell 3 of them. One would be for me, one for my mum, and I'll make my girlfriend wear the other one. That sounds very egotistical. It wasn't meant to be. But I'm just saying, it will be good. So if you want one, or you want some PSN shirts with some logos on, I'm sure we can cook something up for you. Akers billboard, goodbye to Eagles fans, was class. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's no disrespect to say he isn't the greatest ever. He might. Okay, look. What if we phrase it as this? What if we say Jake Elliott is the greatest Eagles kicker of all time, but David Akers is the most beloved Eagles kicker of all time? I mean, that's fair. That's a fair trade-off. I will trade you one beloved for one greatest. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely understandable. The greatest Eagles draft throw of all time. Yeah, it was iconic. Absolutely iconic. Can't lie. Well, we'll get back onto some Shaq Leonard discussions in a minute then. I know we've got 20 minutes left in the show, so I have 10 minutes more on Shaq. Not the man from the NBA, but Shaq Leonard. And then we'll come back to Niners, I suppose, isn't it? It's previewing the Niners before we get to Friday. He was literally the greatest kicker in Philly until Elliott figured his craft out. I mean, the other thing is I don't ever recall Akers having a significant down year, whereas I feel like Jake Elliott did. Was it 2019? There was one year, I will share screens, we'll have a look. I'm pretty sure there was one year where Jake Elliott just really struggled. And he had a fantastic resurgence. Don't get me wrong. It was the stuff of dreams to be able to bounce back at a position where there's as much pressure on you as that. But it was a shoddy year by anyone's estimation. So we're going to try and find how bad. The thing is, but it's a bad year for Jake Elliott, an average year for anyone else. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, I'm not sharing tabs anymore. That's gone well. I am brilliant at this. Share screens. Here we go. Right. So Jake Elliott's career, did he... Yeah, it was that. Oh, yeah, 2020 it was. So it was 2020. So 73% field goal. 2 of 5 from 50. 5 of 5 from 40 to 49. 1 of 3 from 20 to 29. That's the killer, isn't it? 1 of 3 from 20 to 29. But, I mean, in fairness, look at the year he did after it, 2021. 7 of 7 from 20 to 29. 10 of 10 from the next 10 yards. 10 of 13 from the next 10 yards. And 3 of 3 from 50 plus. You're not going to get much better than that. 100% on XP that year as well. That might be one of the greatest kicking seasons ever. And I'm not even being hyperbolic. I think that genuinely might be. Because going 3 of 3 from 50 plus and 10 of 13 from 40 to 49 is ridiculous. So, yeah, hell of a bounce back. I hope you guys actually saw that screen. Bengals, you understand my sentiment. Yeah, it was well. I mean, look, before him, who was it before? Cody Parkey, wasn't it? That was it. And then we had Caleb Sturgis for a bit. Oh, that was an era, wasn't it? The Caleb Sturgis era. Fantastic. All right, I'll have a quick drink. I don't know why we just announced it. I don't have it casually, like anyone's going to care after we announce it. I'm having a drink, everyone. There's water now. Water bottle, water glass now. Oh, it's better. I never drink water, but I do in streams, and it's lovely. All right, we'll go back to some Shaq Leonard stuff then. I did actually make a Shaq Leonard graphic, by the way. I just never got around to using it. So I need an excuse to get it on the screen. So we are going to move back to some Shaq Leonard conversation. And the exercise we'll do now, class, for this one, okay, similar to the last, okay, so you're number 1 in the chat if you do want to sign Shaq Leonard, number 2 if you don't. Okay, so that's a number 1 for yes, number 2 for no, class. If you could get that down on your papers, that would be lovely. What's that, John, at the back? No, number 1, John. For yeah, number 1 if you do want him. That's right, John. Yeah, number 2 for no. Okay, lovely. Tell everyone about to indulge. Exactly. Ta-ta, everybody about to indulge in some hydration. Cheerio. That's how it's made my night. That has made my night. That is brilliant. So we got 1, 1, 1. So we got 3 1s so far. So we got number 1 if you want Shaq Leonard. Number 2 if you can take it or leave it. You're not asked. It's only for exactly. If it's only for a few weeks, it can't be worse than Christian Ellis, right? If that's the bar we're setting, I don't think there's a high chance it's worse than Christian Ellis. So we got all 1s so far. So I've not seen anyone not want him yet. Is there anyone in the chat? There's 20 people. Is there anyone here that doesn't want Shaq Leonard? Anyone? Or Darius, if you're unfamiliar with Shaq, because I thought it was Darius, but it's his middle name, so we've got to call him Shaq now. Okay, so all 1s. It is all 1s. 1s up for the wrestling fans. We the ones. So we'll get the sexy graphic up. There he is in all his glory, doing his finest Hulk Hogan impression. 2nd round pick in 2018, also undefensive rookie of the year. 3-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro. Had back injuries, which led to some surgery in June of 2022. I figures out I can't make graphics properly because games that is one word, so that's brilliant. But he was held to 3 games that season. And then 2023 just looked a little bit unlike himself. It wasn't exactly the Shaq Leonard that we were used to seeing. He just looked a bit slow, a bit sluggish out of his breaks. He wasn't flying around the field like he used to. And that has to be something worth noting. Now, well, that was a comment I wanted to highlight. I've lost it. Bear with me. Cool. Why do you think he was cut? So again, we did touch on this at the start of the show. It's hard to say because, again, I don't know. There must have been something else going on, I think, behind the scenes that we don't know. Whether it is a falling out between coach and linebacker, maybe he didn't take kindly to being benched if that was positioned his way. Maybe he asked for his own release. There is a possibility he asked for his own release and the Colts gave it to him because he was so good for the city and because he did so much community work and because he was such a leader. Like in the same way we were saying, maybe we've overlooked that. I said earlier in the show that Jeffrey Lurie has this amazing habit of doing right by his players. If the players do right by the team will do right by the players. And Lurie has always honored that, whether it is rewarding them with new contracts, whether it's supporting them, allowing them to test free agency waters, giving them flexibility to seek out trade partners, like whatever it is, he does it. So there is a chance that Darius Leonard was like, look, man, I'm not going to start here. I'm not getting any minutes. Is there a way you can just release me because I think I can start on another team and I deserve that? And Jim Irsay's gone, okay. And it's a business decision. I don't want you upsetting the team. We save some money and away you go. Like that is absolutely a possibility. But yeah, it kind of partners in with the fact that he did have a lot of it. He had 2 severe back injuries, which led to surgery and then didn't exactly look very good in 2023. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm torn. Call me Natalie and Brulia, guys, on this Sunday because I'm torn. I don't know. I don't know if I want Shaq Leonard. I think the upside, it's low risk, high reward. They're not exactly going to be paying him like $8 million, are they? So he's going to probably get a minimum deal. He's going to come in for a few weeks. And if the very bottom line if the very worst we can accept from this signing is being better than Christian Ellis, I think he'll be all right. And that, frankly, is fine by me. Doesn't really matter how much better, as long as it's better. All right, you're talking about a player that is a three-time Pro Bowler. Even on his worst day, should be a starting caliber linebacker on most teams. And for Leonard, it's a chance to prove himself, to prove that he does belong, to prove that he can still play at this level and earn a bigger contract elsewhere. So it makes sense for both sides. Like, make no mistake about it. But I also don't know, given how... Look, I've spoke about it all season. Kevin Byard, for me, was always going to take time to settle in. Okay, and I've given this description of stuff like 3 or 4 times. I'm sorry to the core guys that have been here and heard it all before. But it's not Madden. It's not Football Manager. You can't just sign someone, plug them in, and they'll be great immediately. It doesn't work like that. So if you sign someone typically around the trade deadline, okay, they're going to come in. They're going to move their families across state, across country. They've got to find schools for their kids. They've got to find a new home. They get in, they learn the playbook, and just as I said with Kevin Byard, before he got that interception, it's all very well if you join a new kitchen, learning how they cook cheeseburgers, but you do it your way. You both cook from the same recipe sheet, but maybe you do things your way, they do things their way, and until you learn the behaviors of your colleagues, you're not going to execute properly. So in my opinion, it was going to take a month or so for Kevin Byard to fully get going. So from that perspective, if they do sign someone like Shaq Leonard, regardless of if he fits in like a glove, how quick he picks up the playbook, it's going to take a few weeks because he's got to learn what the guys next to him play like, how they handle assignments. It's all very well having, right, the corners are going to drop here, they're going to stunt, they're going to twist, you pick up this, he picks up that. But how do they pick it up? What are the movements like? What areas of the field are left vulnerable? How physical are they? Like, you've got to learn that. So if we sign Leonard now, it's going to take, let's say, 4 weeks, which gives you what? Niners, Seahawks, Giants, Cowboys? So we'll be back in time for the Cardinals and then the playoffs. So it would be, like it or not, it would be a playoff signing. As I don't think there'll be any instant dividend to be reaped from it. So it would be very much bring him on now. If you go up by 3 possessions, get him on the field, let him learn, let him, get familiar with the scheme and see what he's up to speed and stuff. And the other thing is, if they do sign him, they would have put him through a fitness test. So at a bare minimum, he's functional. Like, he's going to be agile enough to pass a fitness test and for the team to have a look at him and go, yeah, we want to bring him in. They wouldn't do that without seeing what he can do on a field, even if it is just individual drills. Like, they're going to see to a degree what he can do. And that's also got to be taken into account, I think, for sure. Leonard is waiting for the weekend. Yeah, this pisses me off. You have just been cut by your team, okay? You've just been cut. You have workouts with the Cowboys and the Eagles. Both of them want to sign you, and you're taking days. Look, I understand making the right decision for your family, but it's not like there's going to be offers coming out the door. It's not the X Factor. You don't want to have 2 or 3 judges vying for you. You don't need the pressure of, and then a hero comes along. Big emotional moment of when you say, you're through to the next round. Shaq, I hate to say it, Shaq. I hate to say it, but you're going to need to pack your bags. And Shaq starts crying. He puts his head down. They go, because you're coming to Philadelphia. And he goes, and he jumps for joy. And the emotional Take That music plays, or You Raise Me Up by Westlife. Like, it should be an easy decision. I'd like to think it'd be an easy decision between the Dallas Cowboys and an Eagles team who are 1 year removed from a Super Bowl, have a 2-game lead in the NFC East. You're familiar with Nick Sirianni, and there is more upside to establish if you wanted a long-term role at linebacker. There isn't that in Dallas. Like, sure, you lose LVE and they've had a couple of other injuries, but like, it's just not the same. It really, for me, it's a no-brainer. And I don't think that's necessarily biased as much as it is like, just use your noggin, Shaq. Use your noggin. All right? Nick Sirianni's there. He's your best mate. He spent all day talking you up, saying, oh, Shaq's this, he's athletic, he had a certain charm to him. Not like that, but I can't remember the exact terminology used. I have to try and find it now. I will. I'm going to find it. Because it was a really good quote. He said he reminded him of a college player that I had no idea who it was. I nodded along like, yeah. So you've got a player that, you know, is a fit. You've worked together before. There's all right, Nick Sirianni. I can't type with one hand. Okay, right. Here we are. Nick Sirianni, confirmed. I'm not giving the website credit. I'll read this out. It's PSN or bust, all right? You get your news from Philly Sports Network or you're gone. That is the rule of being in this street. I'm joking. It's not that deep. But if you could, be lovely. Helps me out. Nick Sirianni calls he's confirmed Shaq Leonard several times to recruit him to the Eagles. So in today's presser, that's the worst article ever. It's just a video. That is stupid. Stupid. I want text to read, preferably. I literally read it earlier for an article. There we go. Obviously, there's a prior relationship there. I was close with him when we were in Indy. I just thought you can learn so much from good players. Just think about how he attacked the day and also how he saw the game as an offensive coach. Oh, about how he saw the game. Right. Sorry, I thought Sirianni meant how Leonard saw that as an offensive coach. I was like, well, he's a linebacker, so that doesn't work. Grammar's important. Whoever's writing this. That was always a good perspective. He did compare him to a college player, and I can't find the exact quote, but it was pretty good. Shaq has a girly. It was something like that. It was like, I cannot wait to hit, and that was the quote. That was basically it. We're coming out the hardest part of the schedule. Dallas is going into it. That's it. It doesn't feel like this is a tough decision. He shouldn't need a college-level announcing video where he has the hats and he picks which one he wants to wear. It's a no-brainer. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. But for K1, who's just come in, part of our Core 12, we will show the graphics again shortly. But I just want to say, while we've got so many people here, again, look, we've got a Core 12, all right, in this chat. The same people that roll through every night on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We talk birds. K1, look, is that sensational? The man missed the stream on Friday. Watch the entire replay. Watch the entire replay and comment any thoughts on it. You don't get that dedication any other fan bases, all right? So if you want to be part of the Core 12, boost it. I think we're at Core 15. I think we're pushing it up. But if you want to be part of it, just make sure you subscribe. Just come into the shows whenever you want to talk about Eagles in a post-game therapy sort of setting. Yeah, just make sure you leave a like on it as well. I don't know how many likes we're on at the minute. If someone could tell me, I can't see it from here. But if we could pump these numbers up, see if we can get over 30 for tonight's stream. If we're not already, that would be absolutely amazing. It takes 2 seconds and it helps us, again, reach what we're really seeing a difference in the amount of people that we're reaching. 21 likes we're on. Right. Let's see if we can push it to 30. Let's get to 25. We do 25. We really are noticing a difference in the people we're reaching. So it's all a testament. You guys are doing the work. I just sit here and babble. I give innuendos and I talk about Shaq Leonard and naming the right Mike Adams. That's what I do in this stream. You guys do the driving. So it's your vehicle. If you want to, make it an amphibious vehicle, then give it a like. It will mean a lot. Duck does as well. Duck is a PSN lifer. Duck is in the PSN Hall of Fame, I think. He's been around this channel now for so many years. I love it. And I voted twice in the 2020 election. Look at that. Multiple accounts we've got now. We're rigging the boxes. I like the memes of refs in Kelly Green. I've been meaning to address the man, chatter, bless him. If I never leave him sing again, it'll be too soon. I sang Happy Birthday yesterday, and that was nice. Or Monday even. I'm not even joking. I misread that. And I think it's because I was scrolling and the message before he put, he's hurt all the time. But I swear to God, I misread that comment as you have good tits. And I was like, I almost looked down and was like, do I? They're A cups at a max, but I'll take it, TMC. I'll take it. But look, whether we have good linebackers or good tits, I'll take him. But TMC is a Bills fan. So apologies for that. I'm sure that was a gut-wrenching loss. I'm not sorry at all. No, I'm joking. It was a good game. It was a very good game. You're right about Khalil Shakir. I think he's going to be a star. And hopefully it won't be the last time these two teams play in the near future because it was a lot of fun. Great team and go Eagles. Little G Griffin, you're a star. My man, what a young bull you are. What a star. MVP. Love the use of emojis. Strong Eagles. Eagles strong. Eagles strong. Eagles. Eagles strong. All over. Dominating. That's what we like to see. That's the energy we need in this chat. So thank you for your support. We have got 5 minutes left. So before we go, we'll do one more splash of the graphics for anyone that's missed them. Here is Shaq Leonard, again, doing his best Hulk Hogan impression. Whether the Eagles should sign him or not, we'll make. The only thing is, look, I said earlier in this stream, I titled this stream based on the fact that he might sign. I assumed he'd sign today. I assumed that. Look, I'll tell you what, I learned a very valid lesson. All right, in math as a kid, I was 14, and my math teacher once said to me, "Assuming makes an ass out of you and me," and it stuck with me for the rest of my life. Okay, I assumed wrongly, made an ass out of you and me, that Shaq Leonard, seen at the airport with Big Dom, was almost a lock to sign to Philadelphia today. So I thought, well, I had to schedule a stream at like 12 p.m. So I had to preview 6 hours in front. So what I did was get a bit creative and say, well, look, if he doesn't, we can discuss it. Is it a good decision? Yeah. If he has signed, moonshot, because it'll be great. But now if he does sign, I don't know what I'm going to call it, because I've ruined it with this title, really. So that needs addressing. But we're going to get one last look at this graphic. The Eagles kicking legends, Jake Elliott and David Akers, the two of them. Unbelievable. Like the fact that Jake Elliott, again, for context, has kicked 11 more field goals than David Akers of 50 yards or more, and of them converted 22.5% more. Do you know how ridiculous that is? To kick more hard-to-make field goals and convert more of them. You alien! You little alien freak, Jake Elliott. It's barbaric. You're an imposter. You're a different species. You're not human. You've got little gangly fingers, I think, and you probably, I don't know, inhale carbon dioxide for oxygen. You're not of this planet. You're a Martian, and you're a Martian, and we love you dearly. God. Right, let's get to your comments. We've got 9 of them in. Let's see what you guys are saying. Tits are on point. I'm sure you have royal titties. Royal titties. I'll just Phil's beard. Right, this is why I love this stream, because it just gets so out of hand so quick. Phil's beard v Liam's tits. I think Phil would win. I mean, at least Phil, you know what you get. You know, God, that's a lovely beard. No one looks at my chebs and goes, God, they're tremendous. So, unfortunately, I think Phil takes the edge there. Just like the core 12, it's actually 12. I think we've got about a core 15. I think we really do. So hopefully I see you. If you're watching this now and you're part of that 21, right, I will see you on Friday. All right? Or you will be back on this stream and we'll do it all over again. And we'll dance the night away and we'll preview Eagles versus Niners and we will have a lovely time and you will love it. All right? How does your assumption make an ass out of you? Look, I don't know. It's because it's how it's spelled, all right? Assume, A-S-S-U-M-E. An ass out of you and me. It completes the word. Assuming, it's a play on the word, okay? It's a play on... That comment makes you an ass, K1. Ruining my lovely word. Unbelievable. I'm joking. I'm winding you up. It was supposed to say ass, damn Siri. Big Dom was doing what Big Dom does. I tell you, Big Dom would be an unbelievable bouncer at a nightclub, wouldn't he? He is a tremendous man. Your math teacher was no philologist? Philologist. Fair play. Yeah, he wasn't. It was a bit mean, actually. So there is that, I guess. There's more stories, I'm sure, from Liam's school life that grow up. Big Dom could be the next student of Stoutland University. He probably could be. They should do it as a challenge. Like they always love social media, don't they? They should just get Big Dom for one practice, working the sled, like doing the drills. Maybe not going up against like different people. Hang on, what do you mean? He said no. We're gonna fall out in a minute, sunshine. Because I say maths, but I think you say maths, so I say math to fit in to be one of you guys. So it is maths. But a lot of people over there say math, don't they? So I said maths because it is maths, but I can't even do that right anymore. K1 is having my pants down here, and not in a good way. Not in a sloppy BJ way. He is making me look very silly. I'm not a fan of it. But I'm loving dearly, so I'll let him off. Guys, and with that argument about math, we all say math. Oh, okay. Oh, so I am in the wrong. Right. I couldn't tell which one it was. Math, right. Okay, right. So he's had that again. He's double at me there. The 1-2 combo, the left-right. He's rocked me with the left. I think I've bounced back. Bang! Jaw's gone. I'm on the floor. Unbelievable. But on next episode, I was being condescending. Well, I won't be condescending you a Christmas card. How about that? How about that, K1? How about that? Guys, you're all absolute heroes. I love every single one of you. Thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with me. I have now got an hour between now and AEW Dynamite. So I'm going to play Football Manager Tuesday. Oh, here we go. Tuesday. Tuesday. Or how do you say it? How do you actually say it? You say Tuesday. What are you doing next Tuesday? Wait, like that? And I say Tuesday. I'm confused. Water bottle. Anyway, you are all absolute stars. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you're new and you've enjoyed this rampant chaos, this isn't a one-off, all right? This isn't me just being, a bit energetic. This is the stream. This is what we do. And it's every single stream, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's amazing. I wouldn't change it for the world. And if you want to be part of it, if you want to join the Core 12, which is rapidly growing, right? You're becoming a member now. You get a badge of honor. And again, all you've got to do, leave a like on the stream, show up next stream, say hello, drop your opinions in, whether it's on the Niners, whether it's on what we've discussed today, whether it's Shaq Leonard. Maybe he's even signed by Friday. Who knows? Maybe his weekend's a bit quicker than we thought. But I would love to have more people in. It's fantastic seeing this show grow. And I'm just very humbled to chat with you all on a bi-daily basis. Excuse me. ESL Belgium, tits up. Always goes tits up. It's the best way. Guys, enjoy your evenings. You are absolute stallions. I hope you enjoy your Wednesdays, whatever it is you may be doing, whether it's sleeping, watching wrestling like a nerdy person like myself, and maybe Eric, although I don't want to call Eric nerdy because that feels mean and he might hit me. But anyone else that is up to anything nice, I hope you enjoy that. We'll be back on Friday for the preview show for Eagles versus Niners. I can't wait to get into that. All the matchups, the injury reports, the stats, the juicy good stuff. We might even build a little parlay, might sprinkle some salt on that, and we'll go into the weekend. So can't wait. Go Birds. Go Core 12. I'll see you all on Friday. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much for hanging out. I love you all. Take care.